Brussels 2017, Diamond League and the men's shot put competition. Olympic champion Ryan Krause's resounding shot of 22 meters 37 has stood since the first round. Final round, enter Darrell Hill.
I think no matter how my career takes off, if I win an Olympic gold medal, if I win a world championship gold medal, I think that competition will always be a special one for me. Every thrower or even every field eventer has a dream of a 6-round moment where you're in a competition with all the best athletes in the world. It's a championship, it means a lot, and you come through in the 6th round to seal a victory over everybody else. That's kind of what that competition was for me. Before I took my throw, the #1 throw was 22.37, which is one of the best throws ever. And if you look at the people in the field, we had Olympic gold medalists, world champions, Olympic medalists, you know, everybody that you can name. So it's those kind of things that stick out to me most about that competition.
In a sport where just a few centimeters mark a huge improvement, the 24-year-old's throw was nearly half a meter farther than his previous best and crowned him as Diamond League champion.
The most important thing I learned from that competition is to just trust your process. Because I'll give you an example. I opened my outdoor season last year at 21.91, which was a personal best for me at the time, in which, you know, if you open up in April at 21.91, you think that you're going to throw 22 meters in May or June or July or August. And then when it doesn't go that way, although my training and stuff was so well, I knew what kind of athlete I was. I knew how prepared I was. I knew what type of shape I was in. And I just hadn't seen the result. And so when I saw the result, the first thing I thought was, that's about 20 centimeters further than I thought it would be, but I'll take it. To get my 22-meter throw on my last throw, so it was my first throw of my season was a personal best, and my last throw of my season was a personal best. So that kind of let me know that you just got to do all the work and trust the process, and that, you know, if it's meant for you, it'll come when it's time.
Trusting the process is a theme for the big American. He was recruited into the sport by chance and found much more than an after-school activity.
School was always something that was very important to me, you know, and that's kind of where track and field, where I kind of chose that, because the opportunities I got from track and field allowed me to go to a better school and get a better education. You know, I went to Pennsylvania State University, which is, I'd like to say, one of the best schools in the United States, and I got some of my tuition and stuff paid for. So that, I'm always grateful to track and field that it gave me an opportunity to get my degree from that school.
You hear this? I hear it. What in the world?
I was a very regular kid. I grew up in a suburb of Philadelphia, and just another normal kid. I played basketball, I played football. I liked to hang outside with my friends. I had no dreams of going to the Olympics in track and field. That was never a dream of mine. I didn't even really watch the sport. I loved the people in it, but like, it was not a thing for me. And so when I take a step back and look back at my life and how it's transpired, you know, I realized that you may not understand or know the blessing that's coming towards you or what your future has in store. You know, sometimes it's just about being willing to take an opportunity and take a leap. So you never know where your opportunity is going to come from. And mine just so happened to come from a coach stopping me in the hallway asking me to come to a track meet, and I said, yeah, but you know, I could have just as easily said no.
Luckily, Darrell saw the positives of accepting what came to him and went to the tryout. Fast forward to 2016, where he launched a personal best at the US Olympic trials and found himself presented with the opportunity of a lifetime.
So the Olympic Games for me was such a blessing to get the opportunity to make it. That year was such a roller coaster up and down, just to get the opportunity to go to my first major international competition, and just so happened to be the Olympic Games, was just a blast and a dream for me. But the competition didn't really go my way. I was prepared to make it there, but I look back on it now and I say I wasn't ready yet to get the performance that I wanted to get at the Olympic Games. But immediately afterwards, obviously, when you don't make the final at a major championships, you're very disappointed. My dad was there, my coach was there. And so it was a disappointing moment for me, and I was walking through the stadium to go try to find my dad to go just talk to him afterwards. And, everybody's stopping, everybody wants to take pictures. And the guy walks up to me and he walks up to me, and I'm very disappointed this time, and then a few months later, I got a letter in the mail from one of the people I took pictures with, and he was just saying like, it meant the world to me that you stopped and took this picture with me, even in a moment where you were very disappointed. And that kind of picture just kind of put everything in perspective to me and let me know that it's bigger than the performance, because you can inspire somebody. And so that kind of let me know that I was doing the right things, and that kind of gave me some fire pushing into 2017.
As it goes, one opportunity led to another. Despite his Olympic disappointment, as a member of the US team, Hill was able to pose for another photograph that this time meant the world to him.
To visit the White House was a dream of mine. And it was even cooler because we had a black president at the time, Barack Obama. And so being an African-American man in the United States, everybody knows the history of the United States and how far we've came as African-Americans in the United States. And to have a black president in the United States meant the world to me. It meant the world to my neighbors. It meant the world to everybody in my family. And so just to get an opportunity to meet him was one thing, but the craziest thing about it was the picture is what is going to mean the most. My mom has it framed in her house, and that's something that I could grow up, and when I grow up, I can show my kids and I can show my grandparents, and I show it to my kids in my neighborhood, and that's kind of the picture that goes around my neighborhood, is that this kid who grew up right here, right next to you, was able to, grow up, be a successful adult, and be able to meet our first black president. And that I think that picture right there really gave a lot of people a lot of hope that they can do a lot of things.
Inspiring others, helping others, and of course, giving others an opportunity to improve their own situation are three things near and dear to Darrell's heart.
I'm most proud of the fact that I'm viewed as somebody who can be an inspiration, but I'm not really one for trophies or medals. I do a lot of speaking. I try to just get back and speak. And anytime I get an opportunity to speak to some young kids, I kind of, share my story because I think that's my message. I don't have anything cool to say. I just can tell kids who I am, where I'm from, my process and how I made it. I'm actually in the process of doing a lot of, actually me and my cousin were just speaking this morning, I'm doing some backpack giveaways and some giveaways to kids, who may be a little less fortunate and not have some of the resources to get proper educations and things like that. So just as any small thing I can do, that's just one thing in particular. When I was growing up, I just got the good side. I just got, oh, so-and-so made it to the NFL, so-and-so made it to the Olympics. And it feels so difficult and so hard to attain because people don't feel real or they don't feel connected to you. People don't view people in high statues and know that they go through real life things like you and I. So I think it's important for me, or I view it as important to me, to make sure I let people know that A, I'm still a regular person, B, I go through things just like you. I come from a very similar place as you. I just stuck to my plan, and I was blessed enough to get an opportunity in that if you do the same and you focus, you can get a great opportunity to do something as well.